All right, beautiful people. Let's go ahead and take a look here at this video. 100-year sentence for the shooter, 50-year sentence for the accomplice, and 30-year sentence for someone that hid information. Let's go ahead and take a look at what this is about.
New at 4, 8 people convicted in last year's shooting at an ICE detention center in Alvarado learned their fates today. A federal judge in Fort Worth handed down lengthy sentences. The decision fueled protest among those claiming a violation of free speech. Andrea Lucia was inside the courtroom for the hearings. Andrea.
Okay, so right off the bat, an officer was shot, a facility was shot. A federal facility had bullets towards its direction, and people are complaining, claiming that it is their freedom of speech. Let's go ahead and take a look here.
Yeah, the shortest sentence that we saw today was 30 years, and that went to a man who was convicted of concealing evidence in this case.
30 years for concealing evidence. He didn't want to be a snitch. He didn't want to talk about what the heck happened, who planned it out, what was said, who was the mastermind behind it. He didn't want to say anything. He chose to stay quiet and plead the fifth, and he got 30 years. There's people that have killed others and have received a lot less sentence. So let's see what the heck this is about.
Defendants got 50 years. Then, of course, you had Benjamin Song, the apparent ringleader of the group, who was sentenced to 100 years in federal prison.
What's the call? Free the law! What's the call? Free the law!
The sentencing hearings were at times emotional. Family members, friends, even a high school history teacher testified to the character of those convicted.
Pause. This gives me a little bit of hope. No matter how much I mess up, there's going to be an idiot out there with a little sign saying, free him, let him go. Hey, like the Carmelo kid, you can murder someone at school with a knife. You can go apparently and shoot at an ICE facility, be part of that group. And there's still going to be people like your high school professor that goes and speaks on your behalf. Kind of crazy world we live in.
And at least 2 of the defendants were visibly crying. Several addressed the court directly, including Benjamin Song. He was convicted for the attempted murder of an Alvarado police lieutenant who he shot in the neck during last year's 4th of July protest over conditions at the Prairie Land Immigration Detention Center.
So he shot a police officer in the neck, attempted murder. Okay. He cried in court. I hope he was asking for forgiveness. I hope he said, you know what? It was a bad call, bad error. I made that mistake. He cried, hopefully saying, I almost killed you, but I didn't. I'm sorry for the pain that I caused you. Let's take a look why he cried.
Today, he said he acted in fear only after that officer raised his gun at a fleeing unarmed protester.
What? Okay, let's get this straight. The guy that just said that he cried in court, he stated that he shot the officer in fear because an unarmed protester was getting a gun pointed at him. So let's think about this. Let's tone it down. Let's wind it down. Apparently, this guy that shot someone in the neck stated that he was in fear for his life. When a police officer pointed a gun at someone else. So let's get this straight. You're standing here in front of that federal building and you see a police officer pulling out his gun and pointing it at someone else. And what he's saying, his defense is that he's so scared that he's going to grab his own gun, clock it back, aim at the police officer, shoot his neck because he was in fear because he was in fear for his own life. When the gun is not pointed at him, it's pointed towards the other person. How could you be so scared? If I'm scared, right? And we're always loaded. We're always with our carry concealed and whatever. If I'm scared and a police officer, someone of authority, is pointing a gun at someone, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna step the heck back. I'm gonna run away. I am gonna witness it. If anything, I'm gonna get to shelter to somewhere safe and I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna take out my phone. I am not gonna be that scared that I'm gonna unholster my weapon, rack it if it's not already racked, aim at the neck or the head of an officer, and shoot. I would never do that if I'm scared. Anyways, let's keep going.
His mother repeated his statement at a press conference outside.
I know I am the person being judged, but I also know that a case like this can become a warning to everyone else. If you speak, if you protest, if you try to protect someone, if you are associated with the wrong idea, you can be turned into a symbol.
Okay, let's stop right there. So you're not turned into a symbol? Do not try to stop the police. They have a badge, you don't. They made an oath to protect us, you did not. If they mess up, we could sue them, we could go against them, but the moment you stand up against a police officer that's not even pointing the gun at you, you lose. So I could totally understand how he got 100 years. Not that good of a thinker, is he?
Treated like a human being.
A federal jury, though, found Song and 7 others present at the protest provided material.
Look at these faces, guys. Let's start up with Cameron Arnold. What happened, bro? You were supposed to be in a rock band, you were supposed to play guitar. Nathan was supposed to be the drummer. Zachary, the vocals. Bradford, he was the guy, bringing in the drinks or setting up the cables. Maricela was Nathan's girlfriend. What happened to you guys? Elizabeth Soto, did your parents get deported? What happened to you, my love? Is Ina Soto your brother? Like, what the fuck? I know that you guys are trying to prove a point and you guys are trying to get your word out about immigration and all this. But joining a team of people that are going to shoot up ICE, it's not going to get your point across. And Benjamin Song, I don't even know how you fit in here. The first row, I could see them being brainwashed by the liberal left. Maricela, I can picture her dad getting reported or having a boyfriend that's in the band or something. But Benjamin Song, what happened? We love China, right? We deal with China all the time. What happened, bro? Why are you the shooter? And Daniel Ronaldo Sanchez, bro, you look fucking Arabic. Like, if anything, I expected you to scream Allah Akbar or something. But come on, guys. You guys are all so young, except you, Ainz. But what the heck? You guys have a good future before you. But anyways, let's keep going to see what information was given to a terrorist group.
A federal jury, though, found Song and 7 others present at the protest provided material support to terrorists, in this case, Antifa. The defendants have maintained they are not members of any group by that name.
Okay, so Antifa. Remember what the whole George Floyd thing happened, right? Antifa was the one calling on radios, telling where the police officers were stationed. They were giving advice of how to destroy property, federal property. They were putting maps of where the next fire needed to occur. So that's why Antifa became a terrorist organization. And just so you guys know, the Antifa leader, she received a lot of money from a lot of donations. She bought a mansion. She bought a bunch of expensive cars. She bought a lot of luxury items. She went to jail for misusing that money. And these guys are part Antifa because the guy organizing everything had ties to it. They gave him information, they concealed information, and therefore, because Antifa is considered a organization that's a terrorist group, now they're getting the law handed to them. So let's see what the heck's going to happen to them.
The two federal judges who split up today's hearings and handed down these sentences defended their decisions, with one of them saying that terrorism and violence are an assault to democracy. We also got statements from several top Trump administration officials praising the sentences. Those include statements from the acting director of ICE, the acting U.S. Attorney General, and FBI Director Kash Patel, who in his statement said, today's sentences show the FBI remains committed to identifying, locating, and dismantling Antifa and its funding networks across the country. Attorneys for the defendants, though, say this case has gotten way too politicized, and they have vowed to appeal it.
Okay, so there's everyone is right and everyone is wrong. I don't believe that you should get 30 years for keeping information. You could plead the fifth. I don't think 30 years is justified, but I do agree that the killer, the people organizing the crime and the terror should get 50 years, 100 years. I agree. My closing statement in this is, if you commit murder, if you commit attempted murder, in fact, other countries have severe laws against theft. If punishments were harsher, we would have less people doing crimes. Everyone used to walk with a gun before. They used to watch out what they were saying, what they were doing, because they could get killed. Now that we let people go and we have easy sentences on them, crime is at an all-time high. So maybe these sentences, especially for shooting an officer that bowed to protect us, it's not right. But who am I? Leave me your comments down below and let me know. Cinderella out.